One of the most beautiful things about art is how you can apply meaning to just about anything. You can apply any meaning to anything. That's what we're doing today. We are going to be finding random stuff. I'm gonna make drawings and then try to find meaning in them. Yeah, mostly I'm just gonna be making stuff up, so. But you know, it wouldn't be truly random if I decided how many random objects I generate here. So, I have a random number generator. Let's go. 4, all right. Let's see, should I just do the first one I get, or can I like choose? Well, you know, it wouldn't be truly random if I decided that. Wait a second, I didn't decide on, oh wait, no, how about I randomly generate stuff and then I flip a coin and it like decides if I do that. Oh, that's perfect. All right. Okay, let's say heads, this is what I do. How am I gonna incorporate all those things? Okay, well, we'll never know. You know, technically, now that I think about it, this can go on forever. Hey! So we have a pair of glasses, a blouse, a wishbone, and a lamp. I'm sure we can figure something out. So to choose a location, I should choose something related to one of these things. Glasses store, blouse, that would be like a clothing store of some kind. A wishbone would usually be around meat. A lamp would be at a lamp store. So this is some pretty grade A stuff here. Oh, idea. This is super like absurdist visuals. So wishbone looks something like this, and it breaks, or like the other way, like whichever side gets the majority has like a wish. We're gonna have it breaking. We're gonna have an invisible person wearing a blouse, and then an invisible person wearing glasses, and they're breaking the wishbone. And it could be like a fog effect or something. Actually, it depends on who gets this wish, right? You know, nothing said that I only use the imagery that I was given. In fact, now that I think about it, an object generator might not be the best way to do it, because you know, landscapes can mean something, poses can mean something, but it's okay. Ooh, but wait, wait, it's so beautiful. How do I... this like clearly empty sleeve, but the rest of the blouse has like form, like it's fitting over a body. But the glasses person got the wish, so it's kind of like the glasses person wished for this person in the blouse to go away, you know? It's kind of tragic when you think about it. It's honestly a contemporary critique on modern society and the treatment of women, where well, I mean, you know, so I probably don't even have to explain it for you to get it, because like even if I got it, the people who shouldn't get it would, like, I shouldn't explain it to them. You should be able to figure it out on your own. It's like a wishbone, but you die. Yeah, you know, I really like this one because I don't have to do any like anatomy. I just have to draw the clothes. Oh, the lamp. Oh, I forgot about the lamp. Oh, wait. I know what the lamp is for. Get out of here, words. We don't need you. Words only explain too much, if you know what I mean. Art is not meant to be explained. This glasses guy, what if I make the glasses like specifically Ray-Bans or whatever rich people wear? We got the lamp here, and it's like a commentary on how the rich and powerful will put down women to keep the lights on, but they don't need to, you know, because wishbones don't actually grant wishes, spoilers by the way, but it's not like they still do it, and it's like, but then why would the woman be disappearing if it's not for the rich man's wish? So it's kind of like a statement piece, if you really think about it. You see, you can make anything art. If you want to take anything away from this video, art can be anything. You know what? We'll even have like a little outlet here. Oh, because you see, the viewer will immediately assume the wishbone has something to do with the lamp, right? That's why the lamp's on. But it could actually just be unrelated, if you know what I mean. Wait, I should have the cord go off of screen so you don't actually know. Because, you know, it's really about the juxtaposition and the dichotomy of it all. So, you know what? I ask you, viewers, specifically people who will comment. What are your thoughts? What are your interpretations of these pieces of art? This is art that I'm making, contemporary art. What's your interpretation? Just let me know in the comments.
Okay, sorry, I'm a little sick right now, so I sound bad. Let's start with the sketch. I really wanted to go for sort of a dance movement to it, which is hard to do because I'm not exactly the best at drawing movement. I did get reference for, like, you know when people dance and then they're like holding one hand, their arms are stretched down, they're like, it's usually after a spin or something. Well, they do it in movies. I don't know if they do it in real life. I go through like several iterations because I feel like the woman's pose is more important to get down correct because she's the one with the most shape needed, because I'm planning on doing like this sort of smoky look, which lets me kind of be loose on the anatomy. I barely managed to get it and then get the guy's pose down first try. Started with painting the background because I'm not stupid, and then I wasn't really sure how to do the floorboards because, you know, there's supposed to be like these noticeable separations in the wood. If I were doing pen and ink, I would draw out each board, but obviously this is painting, so I have to like sort of make it seem like you can tell that there's separate boards, but you can't exactly see the separation between them. And then I moved on to the guy's smoky body. I kind of knew what I wanted. I basically just did a sort of general shape and then used my eraser at like 16% opacity, it says. I was able to kind of carve out the form. I add the glasses onto him and draw the wishbone. And then moving on to the blouse. Not really experienced in blouse drawing, however, it wasn't so bad. You see, I started with a darker tone. I got the general shape. I still wanted to get that effect where it's like half of the body is disappearing suddenly and the clothes are just now reacting to it. And then I was like, you know, maybe I should do a brighter tone. And so I start filling the blouse in with a brighter red. And then I realized, wait a second, that should be the main tone. And so I go over the whole thing with that red, keeping the darker tone as the folds. I'm not sure exactly how, but eventually it came to a point where like it felt really good. Either I got lucky or there's some kind of hidden knowledge inside of me. And then I get to the smoke for the body, starting at the head, and I wanted to get like sort of an underwater hair kind of feel where it's floating around all. I kind of got it. I didn't want to do hair like going up though is the thing. I was trying to make it just behind her, so I don't know. It probably could have been better. I'm pretty happy with it though. It works surprisingly well. At least it worked better than I was expecting. No, this worked out pretty well. I feel like I kind of learned.
Okay, on to the next one. How many items? 8. Okay, we're doing 8. How do I even incorporate 8 items? I've seen enough. I'm using this. Okay. No need to flip any coins. Wristwatch, kitchen knife, shoelace, sheep, carton of ice cream, buckle, baseball bat, dolphin. It rhymes. How do we do this? So we got clothes apart from just a blouse and glasses this time. So what we could do. Ooh, there's already some like imagery of sheep. Oh, sheep are the people who like blindly follow, right? And then you got dolphins, which, you know, everyone thinks dolphins are cute, but they're actually monsters. And all right. So how do we draw this? Do we just have a body of water and ooh, yeah, it's about the dichotomy, right? The juxtaposition of land and water. I hope this video is entertaining, because if this isn't like remotely funny, this video sucks. So it's gonna be like waves, and then you got the land. Now, what's interesting, what if to further my theme of lying, we have the dolphin on land and the sheep in water, you know? Because the water is going to weigh down the sheep because of all its wool. It's going to absorb the water and it's going to be too heavy to swim, I assume. I'm guessing, right? I imagine that would happen. Oh, he's angry. Wait, what if he's holding the knife, the kitchen knife? And what if it's like already bloody? We could have the sun and the moon. Oh, it's so meaningful. This would be good for an April Fool's video, wouldn't it? Dang it, I should have waited. Wow, sheep are really easy to draw. Carton of ice cream. Oh, I forgot about that part. This won't work. There's too many objects I need to incorporate. What if the sheep is like on a raft? I can add a raft because that's allowed because I said so. Yeah, there's actually no rules to this. I can do whatever I want. So he's on a raft. He's even got shoes, and those shoes, of course, have shoelaces, so I don't need to explain that any further. So he's got the watch. This is another statement on the rich, because that's apparently the only thing I can come up with. But think about it. The sheep has a carton of ice cream. But once again, think about it. Think about a certain somebody, like, yeah, it's gonna melt. You know, really, it speaks a lot about our society and the way the news media portrays different groups of people, you know? Baseball bat. That's what this is made out of. This is made out of baseball bats, this raft. Sure. I do think this is somehow a commentary on the news. You know, what if the sheep's wearing all the clothing? It's a sheep's in human clothing. What am I missing? I'm missing a belt, a buckle. So we're gonna just give that to the sheep again, because really, this isn't just about how the media controls people's perception of others, which of course it does, but it's more than that, really. It's about the reality among it as well. Because, okay, so the baseball bat actually represents classic, like, patriotic American sort of whatever, right? The love for sports, the love for your country. You see, this sheep has all the nice things, this raft made of baseball bats, this ice cream, these shoes, this watch, this belt and buckle. But it's in the sun. The ice cream's gonna melt. What are the shoes gonna do on water? What's the belt holding up? And the sheep can't check the time on the watch. Oh my god, I'm a genius. And the dolphin is hidden in the night. I don't know what that means. What? Okay, if the sheep represents people who, like, fall for media and consume patriotism and like American exceptionalism and stuff, what does the dolphin represent? The dolphin represents the counterculture, right? It's in the wrong place, and it's angry, and it has a knife. It can't do anything. It's trapped. It's landlocked. I think that term's for countries and not for animals, but it's okay. And it's hidden in the night, under the night sky of the moon and stuff. Really, this is about how people that don't fit in are left in the darkness, and the white, the pure, the sheep, they get all these meaningless benefits, these pointless boons, if you will. But in reality, no one wins, because in all truth, the sun and the moon control it all. I am a genius. Oh, there's like those moons with like faces and stuff, and same with the sun, right? Like Sublime, that one Sublime album. Oh, and you know what? They're gonna be looking towards each other because they both know what they're doing. Oh my god, it's a beautiful commentary on the media's control and people's perception of the world, and how they pit us against each other, so we are distracted and don't realize that if we unite, we can retaliate. Does this mean I'm a real artist? That I can do this? I don't know.
All right, moving on to whatever this is. I didn't even bother with doing another sketch over this. I feel like what I drew in the video was perfect. So again, I start with the background. You know, I feel like I could have probably split this into quadrants on the screens. If I just moved it up, it would have split into 4s on the whole canvas, and that might have been a better idea, but not everyone's as smart as me, I guess. The sun goes through a few changes here. Not a lot. I definitely wanted to get it more stylized. I didn't want to just do a yellow ball because that is what the sun is. And then we move on to the face. It was basically just me messing around with shadow and stuff, just kind of trying to see how much I could get away with, how much I can put into the face before it gets after the sun. I move on to the moon. It's a lot simpler because there's a lot less to work with. It's just the side of his face. So what I wanted to do, because like when the moon when the moon hits your eyes like a big pizza pie, that's amore. Cut that out. That joke sucked. Because when the moon is like in any form other than full moon, it's not like the moon is actually disappearing. We see less of it. So I don't remember the different phases of the moon, but we see about half the moon, and that's his face. But it also looks like his side profile. That's what I wanted to do. I don't know how well it worked. I added some stars, moved on back down to the beach. The beach will change a few times. Then I moved on to the dolphin. Struggled a lot with this. I felt like going into it, I had an idea, and then that idea didn't work the way I wanted it to. So I kept adding on like different colors and stuff just to try to figure out what was wrong with it. Probably muddied the shape a bit. You can tell it's a dolphin, but it's kind of like, it's a weird dolphin. Eventually I do get the hint to add more form to it with the shadows and the reflection of light. Yeah, I just kind of mess around until I feel like it's good enough. I add some shine from the sun on the water and then start with the sheep. Struggled with the sheep because I felt like I was doing it fast and recklessly. I just kind of shade everything, add the little details of like, oh yeah, the belt, the shoelaces, the ice cream, kind of highbrow art, as you can tell. I basically just kind of smooth stuff out after that, and that's it. What do I think of it? It looks good for the amount of time I spent on it. It was certainly worth doing.
All right, how many items am I gonna use? 3. That gives me a lot less options. Handful of change, steak knife, and teddies. They'll need to know if I'm gonna take this one. So it specifically says handful of change, right? So it can't be like a handful of change. It has to be in a hand, okay? So what if it's kind of like, do I really want to draw a hand at this angle though? That's the thing. God hand style, you got a handful of change. Wait, handful of change or handful of change? Purely political statements in these art pieces. It's beautiful. And people try to argue that art isn't inherently political. I want to take a moment here to make sure people understand that I do like modern art. Like, I appreciate nonsense of colors and shapes that people often associate with modern art. And you can go ahead and say that it's not technically as complex as stuff from like the old masters, but to call it not art is entirely unfair, especially with the rise of AI. I feel like it's important to remember that these artists are artists simply by creating. You don't have to be good. You don't even have to like what they made in order for it to be considered art. Because it's not really up to you trying to define what art is. And most of the time, with things like, say, that banana taped to a wall, it makes people so angry. Oh, this isn't real art. But then it's like, one, the piece is meant to be rage bait, essentially, and every time someone complains about it, it wins. Second of all, how does this affect you? Because the people who really hate modern art are not artists, usually. I'm not going to say all the time, because that'd be like super unfair to artists who don't like modern art. And, honestly, this video is proof. A lot of people say like, oh, modern art doesn't have any meaningful purposes to them. That's totally an argument, except for the fact that I'm literally putting random stuff together and finding meanings in it. I would still consider that art. I don't know what I was saying, so I got lost in trying to draw a hand. Wait, what if this is actually a statement on modern art? This hand isn't perfect, and that's okay. Well, actually no, like I said, handful of change, right? Art is all about change and stuff. Nah, never mind. It's gone. Wait a second. That's the left hand. I'm right-handed. Actually, no, it actually has meaning because left-handed people are freaks. This hand's kind of not terrible. Actually, don't say that, because I'm gonna come back in like an hour or something, and then it's gonna suddenly look so much worse. Someone's gonna tamper with my art. Can't really figure out how to do this pinky here. What if it's removed? Wait, what if I make it the ring finger? Wait, the ring finger is the one you put the ring on. Oh my god. And the left hand. That's what I meant to say. Okay, so wait, what was my things? I need a steak knife and teddies. Teddies plural, by the way. We already know, like, obviously this hand is a statement on change in the world of art and progressiveness in art, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. A handful of change. You know, I really latched on to this handful of change stuff, huh? Nothing wrong with that. You know, great art only happens because you're trying to change, right? You want something new. There's a bird, and it sounds like it would be inside, but that's not possible. I also forgot to mention, it's a beautiful spring day today. I don't know when spring officially starts because it's like March 7th. I don't think it's legally spring yet, but it feels like spring and it feels very nice. It's like commentary on how in order for change to happen, you have to let go. Because in order for, hold on, I need to like completely change the angle here. All right, handful of change costs blood is kind of the message I'm going for here. What is it? Steak knives are like the serrated ones, right? Is serrated the right word? Let me look that up. Oh my god, I was right. Nice. But I feel like the steak knives I have in my house are serrated, so I'm gonna just go with that. Oh, the teddies. What did the teddies do? And then steak knife. And this is on like a cutting board, okay? Oh, wait. What if I also have, and then Teddy here. Well, Teddy had a rough day. If I have two teddies, it'll probably have a more specific meaning than doing a bunch of teddies. Okay, so I think it's important to note that the teddies were cut first because they don't have any blood on them. The hand was cut last. So it's kind of like saying something about the world and growing up, and you know how people say when you grow up you get more conservative, and there's something here. I can find it. Just give me a second. What if I let all of you figure out what this one means? I mean, obviously I have a meaning here. It's pretty clear to me, but you know, I'll give everyone else a shot at it. It's pretty complex, and I don't know if everyone's gonna get it very easily, so I'll give you guys a head start. How does that sound? Sounds good? All right.
I'm gonna be completely honest. As of recording this, I haven't drawn the last drawing yet. You're probably wondering, why would I record this? Well, because I don't know if I'm gonna get a good chance to record anything by the time this video is supposed to go up, which is in a couple days. So we will see. Obviously, if I can record it, you know, it'll be recorded. You know what? Maybe I can just predict what's gonna happen. Okay, so I start with the background, which is supposed to be like a cutting board, so I get a little bit of a wood texture going, try to get a light beige brown kind of color. Then I'm gonna go to the knife. I feel like I'm gonna wait. Actually, no, I would do the hand. I would do the hand first because that's the biggest issue. And then I get to cut off one of the fingers, which I'm going to guess cutting off a finger will be easier for me, but also not, because it's gonna make it look weird, because you know, usually I see hands with fingers, so it might throw off the rest of the hand. We will see. I'm gonna try to get the palm lines in and just like the little details of hands, because there's a lot of those. All right, then I move on to the knife. The knife is gonna have like, I don't know, it's just gonna be like a steak knife, so it's just metal, which is going to be super easy. And then my steak knives I have at home are the black ones with the little silver circles, so I'm just going to do that. And then, yeah, okay, and then we move on to the teddy bear. The teddy bear is really interesting, I'm guessing, because I don't really know what kind of texture the teddy bear is going to be. I don't know if I'm going to try to do like fluffy teddy bear or smooth or what. So if I try to do a fluffy teddy bear, God pray for me. I don't know how to do that. if I just do a smooth teddy bear, that'll be easy too. It'll just be a brown and then some orange for the lighter colors and then some blue or purple for the shadows. And then guess I'll have to do like a fuzzy pattern for the fluff. And I can figure that out because I drew a sheep. So I've got this. And then moving on to the teddy bear bodies. Same principle, probably easier. Oh wait, I didn't mention the blood. Wait, what if I do, I'm gonna do everything I said in order of what I, like how I say it. That way it's like, oh yeah, you recorded it, you know, I'm like lying and stuff, which I do all the time, but no one notices. What was I saying? All right, the blood. The blood's gonna be super easy. It's just a liquid. I might add a ring, actually, that's a good idea. I might add a ring. I might not add a ring as well. I might remove the ring after I add it. So that'd be pretty cool. After that, I'll just kind of like touch it up with some details, you know, like if there's anything I forgot to shade, if there's any like texturing I want to do, different colors I want to add, that kind of stuff. All right, I'm pretty happy with it. This is a really good piece of art. 10 out of 10. I loved it, and I know what it looks like. Alright, that is the end of the video. If you made it this far, what are you doing? If you didn't make it this far, you suck. Don't forget to subscribe, comment down below your interpretations of these pieces of art. Like the video if I didn't say that already. See you next time. Bye.